Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a beautiful evening here on the farm, and I wanted to give you a quick update, a quick product review on a new piece of equipment we got here on the farm. So what you're looking at here is the Earthquake 99cc. It is a 4-stroke tiller, mainly used for gardening purposes. Now, why we went ahead and bought this, we're at the point where we're really expanding our garden here, and in order to get that done quickly, rather than just, physically taking a shovel to it, busting sod, flipping it over, and then chopping that up, so you can hear the pigs here in the background, we decided we wanted to get this job done. We're pushing our limits here as we're in the middle of May already, and we need to get some plants in the ground. So figure, why not go out, make the investment, and get something that's going to do the job quickly, efficiently, and honestly, it's going to put out a better product for us at the end of the day. So you can see here behind me, I've already been working away, and it has been very wet here in Pennsylvania. We're in eastern Pennsylvania. We've gotten a bunch of rain over the last few days. In fact, I was actually out here last night while it was raining very lightly. I wanted to put this thing to the test and see really what it could get done for us. So we're right here in the middle of our yard right now, and figure that no better test than actually try to break up sod itself. A lot of tillers will struggle with trying to bust sod. A lot of your lighter engines, first of all, you're not going to have the weight. You're just not going to have the sheer power to get through the grass and the root structure that spreads out beneath the surface of your yard. So you can see here behind, and I've been tilling away here for a while. The ground is wet. It's definitely caked up a little bit with mud. But we are drying out here, and that is the purpose of why I wanted to get it done. I wanted to air out a little bit, dry out. I'll go through again then tomorrow once we get a nice sunny day, and we'll be ready to get some garden beds in here. But that's aside from the point. We're going to show you this thing a little bit closer. We'll fire it up for you. It is hot, so I sure hope it's going to start on the first pull. But to this point, we've had no issues with anything like that. Started on the first pull. Obviously, you're going to use your choke here, which we'll show you in a second. But once it's warm, the thing fires right up as well. So far, the results have been really good for me. Again, not really knowing what you're going to get out of something like this. This I picked up at Tractor Supply. I will put a link down in the description for you guys. Take a look at it if you're interested. Earthquake does make a lot of different models, different sizes. This is kind of like your, I guess you'd say, mid-tier model. They make one that's a little bit smaller, and then they make a few, I think, that are actually much larger. They're going to be more of your rear tine tillers, a lot heavier duty. This is a front tine tiller. As you can see here, I don't know if you can see down here. Of course, I got mud all over the tines. 4 tines. And the cool thing about this is that you can actually adjust it to 3 different widths. So it's 11, I believe 16 and 21 inches in width. So you can actually mess with the tines by taking some off to get a different width if you're somebody that's going to till between your garden rows or a yearly garden bed, which we're not going to do here. We're definitely practicing no-till gardening. Again, this is used strictly for establishing a bed. That would pretty much be the one time that I'm going to use a tiller here. And you might wonder, why go out and spend the money when you're only going to use it for that purpose? Well, we're going to be doing a lot of different things here. My old garden, I'm going to till that up. That'll eventually be probably either a pumpkin or a squash patch. So there's always going to be use cases. And just by doing this, what's here behind me, it took me, I'll call it about a half hour, 45 minutes last night. If I were digging this, guys, it would take me hours to get it nice and clean like this. Digging a bed itself isn't too bad, but then you're gonna have chunks of sod, basically the size of your shovel head. You're gonna have to go back up. You're gonna have to either rake that out or break it up somehow or another. Add in some other material, whether it's compost. With the tiller, you can kind of skip all those steps. You just get a good till. Obviously, we'll still throw some soil amendments in here, being that this is a garden, but this is you get the point. It's gonna save you a ton of time. So well worth the investment already as far as I'm concerned, and we'll go ahead and show it to you now. All right, and like I said, she is dirty because we've been using it hard already. This is pretty much gonna be your front plate. Now, this did require some assembly. The people at Tractor Supply told me that they're typically gonna have these out They actually just had this one, and it was actually still on a pallet. So a little bit of assembly required. Basically what I had to do, it comes with 2 tines here, your 2 center tines. You pretty much have to put on your 2 outer tines. Now this is important. There are arrows on each tine, and I'll try to show you, but I doubt we'll see them. No, I definitely won't. There's arrows on both tines, and that's going to give you your direction that they need to go. I know that sounds very simple. Anybody that has any bit of mechanical background would understand that, but if you're watching this and you're not too familiar with equipment, or first time gardener, definitely make sure you're paying attention to that, because that's going to cause your tines to actually hit, which is going to cause you a heck of a lot of issues once that motor gets fired up. So making sure you're following the directions there. We also had to go ahead, we had to install these side guards. These are actually kind of cool. There's a channel on the underside of your red metal, and it basically slides in underneath, and then these top pieces of plastic will kind of lock it in place. So neat little design there, nice and sturdy. Same thing on this side. And then you got your obviously your motor mounted on top. You can see there 99cc. It's a Viper engine, gas fueled right at the top. Another point to call out, you have your oil here. Definitely need to go ahead and add oil before you start. Pretty much any piece of equipment, whether it's any small engine piece of equipment, is going to require oil before startup. It's always going to come dry from the store, from the manufacturer. Obviously, as you're shipping that stuff, you don't want to have oil leaks. So it's going to come dry. Make sure you put oil in it. If you're somebody like me that doesn't typically like to read manuals, things like that, if you're not familiar with equipment, just make sure you're doing it. They do hang a tag right here on your pull start that's going to say to do that, but hey, you never know. Fair warning in advance. So you got your fuel tank up top. As far as we've seen, I mean, look at that. There's still fuel up to the top of this little filter here that's on the inside. We filled this last night. We ran it for, like I said, about 45 minutes yesterday. I was just running it for about a half hour again today. So the thing barely eats fuel. That's pretty cool. The tank is small, so definitely nice that we have that going for it. You got your throttle here in the front, your choke, pretty straightforward there, your air filter, and that is pretty much it. So we'll take you around the back here. Pretty much you got your handles here. Now this, again, you had to assemble these. Obviously coming in a box, you're not gonna have something this tall. So it's basically just 2 bolts here with a washer and a nut. You put each side on. You're gonna put this metal plate on, which just adds stability to your handles. And then you're gonna have to attach your cord here, which basically just runs up through to your throttle handle here. And that is how you operate this tiller. In the back, now forgive me, this is completely caked with mud. This is gonna set your height, your depth for your till. We pretty much have it on the deepest setting right now. I believe it goes up to 11 inches. Basically, you're just gonna have this pin here with a lock on it. And that's gonna set, there's multiple holes going down throughout. That's gonna set your height for your till. So it makes it pretty easy to just operate. You have your hand crank knobs here. This will actually adjust your handles. So there's a couple different settings you can adjust your handles. Same with when you're mounting your handles. If you're a little bit taller, a little bit shorter, there's a 3rd hole here. You can shorten up your handlebars as well. So I'm not exactly a mechanic, but very simple piece of equipment, and it's very easy to assemble if you are one to get it in a box. So we're gonna go ahead, we'll get it fired up for you. I'll give you a quick demo. We'll get you some close-ups, show you how it runs. Like I said, this was already tilled, so this is actually what we're gonna continue to work here, just to continue to develop this. I mean, it's all a work in progress, guys. So before you know it, we're gonna have all sorts of plants in here, but you can see all the grass around me. This is literally right in the middle of our yard, and this is what I'm tilling up here. So we'll get to it. I'm not gonna break any more sod because this is about the extent of what we're gonna do for our garden for now. But I'm gonna show you how this thing runs. there we are. Freshly tilled soil behind me. Once you break through that initial sod layer, it just gets easier and easier. Now keep in mind, again, we did have rain the last 2-3 days. So we're gonna have some clumping, we're gonna have some mud, which I'm kind of compacting down as I'm walking over it. But give it a day in the sun, that stuff's gonna dry out a little bit. I'm gonna go through one more pass, and we're gonna have a garden ready to go here. So once again, this is the Earthquake 99cc. It's a 4-stroke tiller, 4 tines here in the front. You can find it at Tractor Supply. Take a look again, I'll put it in the description. And we appreciate you guys watching this one. A little product review and some work while we're at it. But thanks again for tuning in, guys. If you're interested in anything else homesteading related, whether it's chickens, pigs, sheep, gardening, you name it, we have a lot of fun here. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, you can give us a thumbs up. We welcome any questions and comments as well. We'll be happy to help you out. We'll be happy to get you going on your own journey. So thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your night.